is the frequency in use. Nothing heard. This is K4PEW. My name is Paul, net control for the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. Is there any emergency or priority traffic? Alrighty, guess there's not. Net may be broken at any time for emergency traffic. If you have an emergency, though, call 911 first and proceed from there. We'll talk you down. Well, I don't know what we'll do, but we certainly will try to help. You can see us on the web right now on YouTube. On either use my call K4PEW on the search block in YouTube, or you can use the word Brain Trusts. That's the channel name, BRAINTRUSTS. Or you can see us on our website on the web, of course. It's 146415.net, 146415.net, or you can look us up on groups.io and just do a search for MJSS, from Mount Juliet Simplex Society, MJSS. Or where else? Or you can write me an email at k4pew@arrl.net. Or you can send me an email on the Groups.io site. We normally meet at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday night, as we've been doing for about 5.5 years. This is net number 566. And in case you're making note here, we'll be starting from, I think, the north. Hold on. Yep. I was right. We're starting from the north, 556. And what else do we have? Oh, yeah, announcements. That's what we have. Well, no, the purpose of the net, I got a lot of whack here. Purpose of the net is to have fun, to meet other people on the air, to understand how your station works and how well you can hear other people. And one of the ways you can do that is monitor what's happening here on the YouTube feed, so you can hear what I'm hearing, and then try to figure out why you can't hear what I hear. Now, sometimes that's not possible, but at least it gives you, for instance, if you're 30 miles east of me and I'm talking to somebody 30 miles west of me, it's possible you won't hear the other fellow at all. Or if somebody's on an HT and I can hear them, but you can't, it wouldn't be too surprising, but at least you'll get a better handle on what your station is capable of doing. At any rate, we have a lot of fun doing it, and most of the people who are regulars on the net have made some serious attempts at upgrading their radios. Well, not necessarily their radios, but some of them have. But mostly their feed line and their antennas, and getting their antennas higher and doing more. Also on the net tonight, we have the Saturday night, we have the buy, sell, swap, and swindle net, immediately following the 2-meter net, and we have the 2-meter sideband net on 144.240. Do I have any other announcements? And then tomorrow night, there's also at 7:30 the 10-meter net on 28.415. Easy to remember, 28.415. That's 10-meter sideband. 7:30, and I send out reminders through the email system on that as well. I don't think I have any other announcements. Anybody have any additions, subtractions, or multiplications on that on those announcements? All right, either nobody's out there or nobody's got any questions. I'm going to go ahead and get started then. We usually have some big nights, and I don't expect tonight to be any different, but you never know. Starting from the north, please come now.
WE4E, K4WK.
Hey, Steve, hold on. Hey, Danny, you jumped right in there this time.
Yes, sir, making up for lost time.
You're going to have to check in 4 times then.
A little bit more work on the loop antenna.
Yeah, it was a pretty day. It was still a little cool, though, but it was nice.
Yeah, the sun was warm, though. You get out in it. The temperatures were not that high, but the sun made up for it. Very nice to be outside.
Yeah, I spent a great deal of the day cleaning up my shack, which was I need a plow.
Oh, tell me about it. I feel your pain.
Yeah, well, I did. I worked on it quite a while. A lot of it was paperwork and business stuff and personal stuff, and just kinds of crazy things.
Well, exactly. And I got crap everywhere out here. It seems like every time I take an hour and shuffle and put things kind of away, I really haven't made it any better. I've just made it different.
That's right. Did you ever see the Japanese 5S method?
I'm just afraid to know.
No. It's a serious thing. Look it up. Look up 5S. the number 5, not the word 5. It might be under word 5, but 5S, and for Japanese organization. It's something that came out of Japan that I instituted when I was working, but when I bring it home, it doesn't exactly. I don't meet those specifications very well. But anyway, take a look. I think it'll intrigue you. I don't know if you'll do it, but it'll intrigue you.
Okay, I'll look that up. Yeah, I am not the most organized person in the world. I've literally, my organizational level with just about anything hits about 80%. I can get just about anything straightened out about 80% of the way, and then I look around at the last 20% and go, what the heck am I doing with this?
Yeah, I say that's good enough.
Yeah, exactly. So, but other than that, not much to report from over here. It's been kind of a quiet week.
Fantastic. Quiet's good. All right, very good. That was Danny, Whiskey Echo 4 Echo, and he is in Hendersonville with a great signal. He's been remiss. He's been out on the road and busy of late and not been able to check in, so it was good to have him back on the air. Who else? We got Steve. I got you in there, Steve. Appreciate you checking in from Kentucky.
Yeah, you're talking to me, Paul. I got really bad conditions today. Just thought I'd give you another double.
All right, very good, Steve. Bad conditions. I'm hearing you just fine. Hope you can hear me still. Anyway, that was Steve in Kentucky. Kilo 4 Whiskey, Kilo uniform, and he is just a little bit north of Bowling Green. Sometimes conditions are great. Sometimes they're a lot better if I use the beam, but tonight I don't use the beam on the net. Very good. Who else is north?
WB0NOO.
All right. How you doing, Mark?
Doing good, Paul. Nothing really new over here. Been a quiet Saturday. Can't even remember what I did.
That's probably a good thing, although it means you didn't accomplish anything of significance.
You know, I think you're right.
No, normally if I do something, well, I did some things today, but none of them were significant. We always joke about that. My wife will say, "What'd you do today?" I say, "Well, let's see. I emptied the dishwasher. I cleaned up the kitchen sink, and I did some laundry." And it's funny. That's not too significant, though.
Yeah, that sounds about like my day. But I didn't really do anything. It was just one of those good days where you just kind of kick back, and I ran one errand this morning and came right back home, and that was it. So anyway, I think I'll go back to it.
All right. Yeah. Plus, I did go get the mail. I was walking right out to the street to do it too.
Yeah, I went all the way out there too.
All right. Very good. That was Mark. Whiskey Bravo 0 November Oscar Oscar. He's up by the weather station in North Mount Juliet, or I'm not sure it's still Mount Juliet, but it's up there north of me, about 5 miles. So. Who else we got in north?
KN4KXA.
KN4KXA. How you doing tonight?
Good, man. This is KN4KXA, Robert in Goodlettsville. Hope everyone's doing fine tonight.
Yeah, we're supposed to have a new check-in from your neck of the woods up there in Madison tonight. We'll see how that works out.
Hey, man, sure hope so. The more the merrier.
Oh, yeah, that's the way we look at it. I mean, of course, the more the merrier makes for longer nets, and I try to squeeze. I hate to take them. I mean, we've taken on one net. I don't think you were with us then. We did like an hour and 40 minutes on 2-meter net, which was really pushing.
Yep, that's pushing it away. With that in mind, I'll say thanks for the net and get back with it.
All right, very good, Robert. Good to have you in there. That's Robert in Goodlettsville. Kilo November 4, Kilo X-Ray Alpha. Good signal, by the way, from Goodlettsville. Who else north?
KN4FAX. Just sitting here waiting for spring.
Oh, yeah, well, it's coming soon there. Otis, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well, thank you. And I won't hold up the net. Don't want to make it too long tonight. Hello there. Dan, good to hear from you. KN4FAX will stand by.
Yeah, if you can, stick around for the 2-meter sideband net. Very good. That was Otis, and he's also in Hendersonville. Kilo November 4, Foxtrot Alpha X-Ray. I love that fax. That's it. Nobody uses fax anymore, I don't know. But it's a good call, though. Who else is north? Please come down.
Whiskey Oscar 4 Echo.
Whiskey Oscar 4 Echo. How you doing tonight?
Doing good. Scott in Castellan Springs up here. It's going to get cold this evening. At least it did.
Was somebody right on top of you, or was that you keying up? Okay, Scott. Somebody was jumping in there. You say it's getting cold, or it was cold?
No, it's getting cold. Today was actually real nice, of course. A lot of sun, got a lot done. Ran some errands with the YL, and just kind of sitting here drinking some coffee, which is a mistake at this time of night for me. But frankly, I don't care because 40 meters is open.
Yeah, well, I had that same thing over the last, I don't know, 10 years or so as I've gotten older, unfortunately. I can't drink coffee after about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or it'll disturb my sleep tremendously.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And really, frankly, the YL should have cut me off a long time ago and kept me from making the coffee, and she normally does, but since it's Saturday night, she kind of let it slide.
Oh, you're really letting it all hang loose then.
That's what us old folks do, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, drinking coffee and getting on 40 meters.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Well, very good, Paul, and appreciate the radio check the other day, too, running the J-Bowl out in the shop. I appreciate that, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, if I'm on the air, I'll help anybody that seemingly needs help. I mean, the reason I tend to be good and bad for signal reports is because I hear people so well. I've had people who are relatively close to me go, let me try a couple of antennas, and they switch between one and then the other and the other. I go, hey, they all sound the same to me. I'm just too close to you.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Well, I appreciate it, my friend, and you carry on with that. Keep up the good work there, WO4E.
Yeah, Whiskey Oscar 4 Echo, and that's Scott. And he is in, Scott, where are you again? Oh, Castellian Springs. That's right. How could I forget? Very good. And if you see Dennis, let him know we're looking for him. That'd be BOQ. That would be Scott. Anyway, that was Scott, Whiskey Oscar 4 Echo in Castellian Springs. Who else is north? Anybody else north?
Kilo India 4 Z Delta Delta.
Kilo India 4 Z Delta Delta. I've forgotten your first name. I apologize.
Oh, it's okay. Been a little while. It's Michael Old Hickory.
Ah, yes, it has been a little while. I know I recognize the call, but I just couldn't place the place or the or the first name. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem at all. Well, a little upgrade to the station. I got thanks to your videos and some others, some reviews, I got a FT991 Alpha this week. So got it hooked up and plan to improve the antenna situation a little bit tomorrow. But still have the same antenna. It's the Diamond X30, but with an improved radio. So we'll see how that goes. And also, like the split video, I'm watching it on YouTube now. Like the radio and your mug there.
Yeah, the radio, and you realize that's a mirror, right?
No, I didn't know that. Looks like a split picture-in-picture.
Yeah, it does, but I couldn't get the software to work, and I got to get another camera so I can use an IP camera as the picture-in-picture thing, which will look a little more. I don't know if it fooled you. I guess that's good enough, but that's actually it's a 16 by 16 inch Walmart wall mirror that's propped up here and gives me an opportunity. The camera is pointing at the at both the mirror and the radio, so it seems to work out pretty good. And yeah, that 991A is good. And plus, you were doing 50 over to me, so your antenna, like I said, you're close enough to me that it wouldn't matter whether you had a J pole in the attic or a X700 antenna or a beam. I'd pretty much get the same signal from you.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, that black line going right down the middle on my phone screen it makes it perfect. But yeah, I've got the diamond antenna, the vertical now, and I have what is it? It's some kind of I want to say diamond. It's a Yagi. It's like a 5-element VHF beam. So I'm gonna give that a try. Probably, I guess tomorrow, maybe if the weather's good enough, I'll try to get it up there a little ways. I don't know what difference that'll make.
Well, do it early, because it seemed to me as the day wore on, the chances for rain got really bad, in the afternoon. Yeah, that's what I remember seeing on the web earlier today. Well, no, your system sounds great right now. It really does. Good audio, good strong audio, and A beam's not going to help me hearing you, that's for certain. But where you are, do you know what your elevation is? Excuse me, what your elevation is, Michael?
It's pretty poor. It's right here on the pretty much right on the Cumberland River here by the Hermitage. I think it's maybe 450 feet, if that.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty bad. That's what's bad about being closer to the river, because here I am. I joke about it, but Mount Juliet isn't exactly a mountain, but I'm at 686 feet at the, on the ground, which gives me a great elevation for this area. I mean, it's greater than almost everybody, almost.
Yeah, I miss my last QTH. It was also an Old Hickory, but it was over there closer to where Richard KF4SIB was. We were in the same neighborhood, but I think I was closer to 600 feet there, and had the antenna on the roof of a two-story house on top of that. So that did much better. So this is kind of a compromise, but as we always do here on the 415, I want to do my best to improve it.
Oh yeah, no, that's kind of what it prompts everyone to do, and you wouldn't be alone in that regard, because I know I've done the exact same thing. I went from the J pole in the attic to what I got up here on the chimney mount, which was worked very well for me and everybody else for that matter. I'm glad that more people can hear me and more people can participate, and it prompts more people to do what you're doing. So good to have you in there, Michael. That's Michael in Old Hickory. It's Kilo India 4 Zulu Delta Delta in Old Hickory. Good signal from here, but it's easy for me anyway. You should be able to be heard quite a ways with that signal. Anyway, who else is left to west?
KN4 TJF.
Hey, you enjoying that higher antenna, are you, Rick?
I am indeed until tomorrow when I'll put up my 10-meter antenna.
And you're going to get that how high?
20 foot.
Yeah, you'll do all right, I'm sure. I think you will anyway. But on the 2-meter FM, you got that antenna up a lot higher now, correct?
Yeah, about 20 foot, but we're thinking there's probably an extra 10 foot I can get out of that push up.
All righty. I guess you're gonna have, if you haven't already, you're gonna have to guy it, right?
Yes, we have not, because we're actually going to bring it down, attach my 5-element beam, and then extend it out with guides.
Yeah, that'll be great. That'll be great. I think you'll see a difference. I mean, you've already seen. You were talking to Robin earlier, and I know he hadn't changed anything since the last time you talked to him, and you were copying him pretty good.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, he was loud and clear today. I cannot hear Wes, but I was actually talking to Earl on 415 as well.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Yeah, because Earl's, to me, in fact, he's probably just a little bit. I'd have to look on the map, but he's just a little bit south of me, and you're pointing away from. So you may not have the same ridge I do, because sometimes his signal is not great to me. But how well did you copy him? What kind of signal did you have?
Best I remember was like an S3, but his audio was pretty clear. It was pretty good. It wasn't real strong, but definitely readable.
Ah, very good. Well, I'm glad to hear that's improving, because you weren't hearing them at all. And of course, you're gonna have a hard time hearing Wes down there in Watertown, because he's down in a ditch with a mountain facing almost due northwest.
Yeah, almost has his antenna in a well.
Yeah, that's right. It's all right. Well, very good, Rick. I don't want to malign his system anymore. He does a good job for what he's got over there, because he's got a 60 or 70 foot tower. So he's trying to do the best he can, and most of us can hear him pretty good. Anyway, that's Rick in Ashland City, and that's Kilo November 4 Tango Juliet Foxtrot, making huge additions to his system over there, putting up that 10-meter, which will be up for the 10-meter net on Wednesday. So we're looking forward to that. All right, who else is next? West?
November 4, Delta.
Madison, I don't know if I'm west or not. Over.
Hey, hold on. Was that John and Madison? Wait, hold on a second. You came in right after somebody else. We're right back to you. All right. How you doing, Don?
Hey, good evening, everybody. Paul, as always, good job with the net. I'm tired out. Did some more work on the HF antenna.
Did not get as far as I wanted to. One, because I was up at 2 o'clock in the morning, so I was my butt was dragging like a dog with worms today, and I took a trip up to Lowe's, and I was probably shouldn't even been driving. I was so tired. And I drove like 2 miles past Lowe's before I realized I passed it. Turned around, went to Lowe's, was about to walk in, and realized I left my wallet here on a bench, and I had to come back all the way here, get my wallet, go all the way back again. So there's an hour of my day because nothing's real handy here in Dixon, right? So I got the 20-meter elements mounted up, and I got to work on the restroom. I don't know if I want to get it on the tower tomorrow, but it will be built, and that's one hump conquered. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've gotten all the way through the self checkout at Walmart and realized I didn't have my wallet. That was a real pleasing experience.
Yeah. Luckily, I didn't go in there and pick the parts out. I only needed 2 bolts. And of course, you never go into Lowe's and just get what you went there for. I had to pick up some other stuff too. While I was there, like, oh yeah, I probably need more electrical tape and a few other odds and ends. So, I did get out of there for less than $50, so that's something. Normally, that's not the case. But yeah, so I made some good progress on all the base, the elements on the boom are all where they're supposed to be in their level. So it's just a matter of adding the tapers in there and mounting the balance, and she'll be good. It's just still a lot of aluminum to bolt together.
Yeah, it sounds like it was. Yep, it's. Well, I'm glad you should be finished maybe by next weekend then, eh?
Yeah, that's kind of my plan. Because I had to move the rotor up on the tower. Well, I don't have to, but I don't feel like spending the money for a 20-foot mast. So I want to move the rotor up about 8 feet to near the top of the tower, so I can use the mast I have now. I'm going to stack the 6-meter antenna between the HF antenna and the IMAX, which may or may not be there. I'm debating on doing something with my 10-meter vertical. Not that I'm going to really need it, but I'm still debating that. But anyhow, so yeah, I get those 3 antennas on that mast top of the tower, and I should be good to go. And I can put this thing to bed. But yeah, hopefully it's not going to be tomorrow. I can already tell you that, but next weekend.
Well, do us this favor when you're finished, whenever that is, this week or next week or whatever it is. Do a video walkthrough. Just do a quick video walkthrough on YouTube, and if you want to, you can make it a private and give us all the address if you don't want to show the world.
I'm fully transparent here. I don't care who sees it. Sometimes I'll turn off comments if I do something. I know if there's 50 million opinions on it, I'll just turn the comments off because I don't care about your opinion. Put that on your own channel. But yeah, for stuff like that, I don't care. Yeah, I plan on doing a walk because I got a new H2 camera I'm going to use set on my phone. And go through the whole thing and what's up there and how I got it hooked up.
Sounds good. Yep, looking forward to seeing what's going on over there. And that was Don, and November 4 Delta Juliet Tango, and he's in Bon Aqua. We're still working on some towers and antennas and getting quite a sophisticated system. You can find him on YouTube on a couple of his videos that he shows his shack, etc. Is that under N4? I forget whether it's under your name or it's under your call.
It's under my name, but it's also tagged with my call sign, so either one should work.
All right, you can look it up under November 4 Delta Juliet Tango, and hopefully he'll do a walkthrough for us on what's seemingly going to be a really nice setup. His station's great, but we haven't seen much of his antenna system yet. Not much of it, anyway. Anyway, was that John in Madison?
Roger. Hello to everyone. God, heading back home using the little handheld at about 4 watts. Here at home. I know you can copy me, and I've been reading the mail on some of the other ones. Not copy at all. Anyway, good evening, Terry, and in the future. Thanks.
Forgive me. Give me your call one more time. I know it ends in II.
Right, yeah, I'm sorry. W7IC, Whiskey Able 7, India, Charlie. Over.
Oh, I had it. My dyslexia was jumping in there. It's I thought it ended in II, but it ends in IIC, correct? Whiskey Alpha 7, India, Charlie. And how long have you been living in the Nashville area now?
Just about 5 months. Was living in Guatemala. before that for about 4.5 years, and operating down there is TG9WA7 item Charlie. It's nice to be back in Nashville where we have some family here, and getting back into hamming up here. Did I hear that there's a 10-meter net next week over?
There's one tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. on 28.415, and then we do it again. That's at 7:30 tomorrow night, Sunday, and then another one we do following the Simplex net on Wednesday nights on the same frequency. But that's variable. It depends on how long the 2-meter net lasts.
Hey, that's great. Well, I'm trying to get a listen. I don't have any meters, but I enjoy that band. It's been a memory for a long time. I'll say 73s for now and look forward to the next time, Wednesday night at 8, I think. 73s to one and all. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, yeah, very good. John is our newest addition to the mailing list and to the net. He moved recently back into the area, moving up from Guatemala, if you couldn't hear him. His call is Whiskey Alpha 7 India Charlie, if you look him up on QRZ. And he's out living in Madison now. And it's good to have another member on the list and on the web and on the net. All right, very good. Who's next, West?
November India 4 Delta.
November India 4 Delta. You know, when you came on the air earlier this morning, somewhere, Carl, that was somewhere 9 or 10 or something. You came on and 4 of us answered you, and you said nothing heard, and so we knew your volume was off.
No, I was waiting on Glenn to get over. We did some antenna work, and I was trying to get all my ducks in a row before everybody got here.
Oh, I know. I understand. It just sounded like I can't say I've never done what you did. So I think all of us do it at one time.
Well, he had actually pulled up in the driveway, and he didn't have his rig on. So that was kind of the reason I jumped off in a hurry.
Oh, no, I understand. It's no big thing. And it's frustrating on this end when somebody does that, because no matter how much power you give them, they're not going to hear you.
Yeah, I had the volume up. I was hunting around trying to find, I think, Don and Glenn, and I think that was about all. We had an early morning date, as it were, to try and get the final adjustments done on these wire antennas, and he'd finished up construction on an air cannon that we were using that he had done for me, so I was kind of anxious to get that underway.
Yeah, my air cannon has always been the David and Goliath method. I use a heavy bolt and fishing line.
Well, I used the fishing line, but I've got something. I actually ended up having to go over to Harbor Freight and buy a compressor, but this thing is pretty amazing. 50 pounds will put it about 100 feet in the air.
Oh, wow. Now, that was a homemade one, or was it a bought one?
He built it. I had one that I bought with a hairspray cannon from Amazon, and I did go up about 60 feet, but I really wanted to have the ends of the antenna up at about 75 or so, because I've got some pretty tall trees in the yard, and this one definitely did the job. My 160 inverted L and my OCF hanging off the tower now are both kind of pointing towards the stars. They're actually taller than the tower, so that was kind of a nice addition. Plus, it cut the SWR down and got rid of a lot of problems from being too close to structures and stuff.
I got you. Is it the purchased one? Did that shoot tennis balls or something else?
It shoots a tennis ball. It was I forget the name of it. It's a Urban Cannon or something like that, and they used to make one specifically for tennis balls, and then they stopped that and they started selling just an adapter for the end of their standard cannon, and it uses hairspray. The only thing I don't like about it is it's kind of iffy. You have to use Aquanet hairspray, and just the amount you put in it, it's 3 sprays, 3.5 sprays, 4 sprays. It's kind of like the way my grandma cooked beans: a pinch of salt and a dash of pepper.
Okay. Does it use do you have to light it? Is that the deal?
It's got a little built-in igniter, yeah, and a little screw-on thing on the back, like you see on a drain pipe coming out of the ground. It's been capped, and you unscrew that, spray the hairspray in, screw the back on, stick in the tennis ball, and I drilled through the tennis ball and had a piece of fishing line through it, and I set it up to where it was sliced wider on the bottom, so I put a washer on the tennis ball and tied that off with the fishing line, and then shoved it back up inside, and it all worked out pretty good.
Yeah, I've never seen one like that. I mean, does anybody ever try using different fuel besides Aquanet hairspray?
Say that again now.
Does anybody try to use different fuel for the for the explosion?
No, I only used it a couple, 3 times, and I was telling Glenn about it before BXR, and he said, "Don't be doing that." And they are they're not really dangerous, but there's better ways of doing it. And he constructed me one out of PVC pipe.
Right, right. And I've seen those with the air compressor, homemade and the purchased ones, and they're really not that expensive. But well, I'd hate to buy one just to put up a couple of antennas, you know, especially if you have to go out and buy an air compressor.
Roger, Roger. Yeah, they're a lot of fun though. We shot it several times today, and it does a famous job. And he does good work anyway. He was in HVAC for years, and TVC is kind of like his canvas if he were an artist.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen the designs for them, and they are neat things. But I got a video of a friend of mine. We were doing that on a special event station up in New York. Anyway, that was Carl, November India 4 Delta. That's again November India 4 Delta, and he's in Brentwood. Good signal. He's working on a bunch of antenna stuff, so that'll be another station I'd like to see the video results from, if not a personal tour. Anyway, who else is west?
KM4YRF.
Hey, Michael, how are you doing? Well, only talked to you twice today.
Yeah, I'm doing okay for an old guy, Paul.
Don't say that, man. I'm older than you.
Well, then you know what I mean.
Yes, I do know what you mean. I get tired and have to take a nap just after doing nothing.
Yeah, me too. Hoping to get Rick's 10-meter antenna up tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll be great. Well, let me know. You know, I'll be around, so just let me know, and we'll go do some testing or whatever for my location.
Right, sounds like a plan. That's all I got. Back to that.
Very good. That's Michael in Belshire. Him and Rick's his brother over in Ashland City, and they've been conspiring to make better systems for Rick and himself, and they're doing a great job. Who else is? And again, Kilo Mike for Yankee Romeo Foxtrot. Michael in Belshire. Who else is west? Ran out of west to the south, please.
K4IDC.
Hey, Robin. Yeah, I was surprised that Rick could hear you earlier. Whether it was today or yesterday. That was interesting.
I think he found some elevation for his antenna.
Yeah, that's right. And he says he can even take it another 10 or 20 foot higher. So that'll be he'll be able to hear you 25% better.
Yeah, I haven't asked, so I was kind of curious as to why I only put it up an additional 20 feet, but he'll get there, I suppose.
Well, you can only do so much with a push-up hole.
Comment.
Hey, go ahead, Michael.
Robin, it started raining, and we didn't have enough time to put the guy ropes on it, so that's why we had to stop where we did.
Well, I knew there'd be a good reason. Are you aware of the notion that antennas put up in lousy weather work better and last longer?
Yes, I was.
All right.
I don't know. That would seem to fall better under the Murphy's Law routine, because if you're in a hurry due to bad weather, it's you don't want any stiff winds after that.
No. All right. Well, I'm glad he's up better than he was. That's good news. Maybe if he pushes it on up a little more, we'll get around this strange phenomena of being able to talk better on 1 megahertz up than what we do now.
Yeah, no, it's he's doing a good job, really. He's like a lot of us. You get that motivation to do more, and all of a sudden you spent more money than you thought you had, and more money than you wanted to spend.
How are you, Paul?
I'm doing great. It's been a good day, and I'm almost getting ready to do something. But here I was going to start something tomorrow, and then I see the rain, so well, maybe I'll get something done in the morning.
It's supposed to rain tomorrow. It's supposed to be nice tomorrow.
Let me look real quick. I swear I thought it said Sunday. Oh no, actually that's late Sunday, late. That's actually in the evening. It's supposed to start raining on Sunday. So yeah, tomorrow looks like it's going to be okay.
That's great news.
Yeah, and then it shows on the weather pattern here. It shows late Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and much of Wednesday is a various percentage of rainfall between 50 and 100%.
well, all right, it's going to do what it's going to do. And we just do the best we can do.
Well, just sounds like your crews downtown are going to be pumping a lot more of those manholes.
Only if necessary.
Yeah, and yeah, I didn't never gave that much thought. I thought they'd have actually sump pumps in those, but I guess they don't.
I think some do, and they're in various stages of operational condition. That's about all I know about that.
Yeah, no, I understand. I wouldn't. I can't imagine having to maintain equipment that's essentially at the sewer level.
Well, there was one we opened up, like we were headed up the hill. It was an uphill grade. We opened up one in an intersection at the lower portion, and it was relatively dry, no standing water in it. Then we go up one manhole that was, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 yards away and open it up, and it's full of water. I asked the guy who was leading me around, he was the supervisor, I said, how does this happen? He said, that's a real good question. This guy's been on the job 30 years.
Well, it's one of those deals that I'm sure you've been in that position, and you say, why? Well, it doesn't really matter. We just got to fix it.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah, it doesn't, who knows? I mean, it doesn't require much research to know you got to put something in there and pump it out. So that was Robin. He's south of me about 5 miles in what is called Hermitage over toward Percy Priest Lake with a great signal. He's another one who's made not only dramatic gains on the 2 meter side, but he's also put up 3 nice little towers on his property to do some other big stuff. Looking forward to the VHS contest. VHS. Yeah, he's going to work a bunch of tapes. VHF contest later. I think that's in June, isn't it, Robin?
Yeah, followed closely by the beta contest.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they no longer are doing the 8-track contest. All right, very good. Yeah, you have to be, I guess, over about 45 to get most of those jokes. Anyway, who else is west? Please come on. West or south, excuse me.
Okay, TYJ.
Hey, Jim. You doing any good today? You doing any riding today would be the issue.
No, not today. I'm saving that for tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a nicer day. So did the chores today. Went to town and pick up some supplies to get us through the rest of the week. And that's what we did today.
Well, man, you got to learn the language. Living in Woodbury, you go to town to get victuals.
Oh, got other stuff besides victuals, so I lumped it all into supplies.
Well, look, I've only lived in Tennessee for 8 years, but I do know this. If you go to town and you're getting victuals and other things, you're getting like milk, bread, meat, and everything. And everything is the all-encompassing phrase.
We have our essentials. Let's put it that way. We're all right.
All right. I was thinking about what would I do if I had to get holed up here due to that virus whipping through the country. And I thought, and my stupidest thought was I could pick up about 20 cans of Spam.
That's not bad. And then, you're set for a while. What's the shelf life on Spam? 50, 60 years?
I'm not sure. Even if it went bad, I wouldn't know.
Exactly. But you can always sell it after the virus passes.
Yeah, let's hope we don't have any issues with that, because that's all we need is a really bad virus coming through the country and wiping out a whole bunch of kids and older people. And I'm one of them older people.
I'm getting there, so yeah. I don't want it to spread. I want it to be contained and go away is what my wish is. So, anyways, ain't got much else going on over here. So, send it back over to Net Control. Doing a great job there, Paul, as always. KU4 TYJ.
Yeah, I'll give you the money later about the compliment. That was Rick. That was Jim. Kilo Echo 4 Tango Yankee Juliet. He is in Woodbury, or just a little bit north of Woodbury, up in the hill country. He's got a nice, putting up some big wire antennas up in the upper echelons of that mountain he's on. Who else? He's right near that, what do you call it, the 9-1 machine down there, so you can tell his elevation is pretty darn good. He comes through to us on his beam, though, pointed in this direction. He's got I think it's a 10 element beam. Who else is south?
Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor.
There's somebody who doesn't have to do anything special. You're doing good there, Larry.
All right, man.
on with it, KE4SYB.
Very good. That's Larry Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor, and he is in Rockville. Always a good signal. Good to have you there, Larry. Who else is Sal?
NAPPY.
Hey, see, I didn't have to call you or remind you or text you or nothing.
Yeah, I made it. How about that? I am glad, though, that you didn't start with the South, because I would have had been a latecomer, lurker, dingle dongler, or whatever.
That's very good. As long as when you check in, you don't throw any billable hours on me.
Oh, wouldn't do that to you. Well, never say never, huh?
Well, that's what's funny is, yeah, I'm sure you've had it happen. People who know attorneys, they call you up and you say, hey, just need a little advice. And you're like, should I tell them?
Yeah, the best one always is if somebody and they have your cell phone or your home number, then they say, oh, well, I didn't want to bother you at the office. That one always got me.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's kind of I'm sure that's a hazard of a lot of people, including tradesmen, who get bugged about stuff. And in any case, even if you're doing it for free, you can never give concise answers to vague questions on the phone.
Right. My son always tells people, if you call in to get a fence built, the first question is, well, how big's your yard? So we got to know how big the yard is.
Oh yeah, no, that's what's funny about, and that's what's funny. I'm sure I've told you, but I did a lot of not legal work, but dealing with contracts and and agreements, contracts and proposals and contracting, and dealt with corporate attorneys, both our own and in the people we're doing business with. And what I learned about the law is that I don't know anything. Every time it seemed to be a different issue about the same issue, and it was always something different.
Yep, got to keep it stirred up, or you won't make any money. But good to hear you, Paul. Sounding good tonight, and I'll let you get on with it. See you over on the sideband then, and have a great NAPPY.
Yeah, very good. That was Rusty, and that's November 8th. Papa Yankee. He's in Murfreesboro. Who else is south? Please come down. Anybody else south?
W4EBX.
W4EBX. Eddie, it's up with you, man. Remember now, it's not next Saturday, the breakfast, okay? It's the following Saturday.
Oh, okay. That's fine with me. Hope everybody's doing all right. And I forgot, I told some people on Facebook that are on 11 meters, or maybe it's 10 meters, that y'all got on sideband 28415 on Saturday night.
Well, they're going to be lonely.
Yeah, it's Sunday night, isn't it?
Yeah, Sunday at 7:30.
Okay, I'll tell them I made a mistake.
That's right. We used to say that with electricians, which I was one, is that it's 2-wire hookup and 3 wires mess up. And it was more than 2, you always mess them up. And so that's true. If you have too many nets at different times, it's easy to get messed up.
Yep, sure is. Well, thanks for doing that, and I'll let you carry on. W4EBX.
Yeah, very good. That's Eddie in Gladeville. Whiskey 4 Echo Bravo X-ray. Good signal as always, and one of the long-standing check-ins here. And he's the one that got us started on the breakfast. He said, hey, we need to do a breakfast. So that's what we did, and then we did another. He goes, we ought to do it every week. I said, well, how about twice a month? So that's what we're doing. Is the second, just in case anybody's asking, second and fourth Saturdays of the month. So actually, that makes it so next Saturday, anybody who wants to go to the Cave City Ham Fest can do that. And I think that's where I'm going on Saturday. So if anybody wants to, well, pair up and go up there, that'd be cool too. All right, who else is south?
Kilo 4, Oscar, Fox, Oscar.
Hello, Donnie. You doing all right?
Doing great. Had a beautiful day today.
Yeah, I should have went out more, but I was busy with my mess in the shack here.
They got a lot of construction going on over behind you. Are they going to be opening that up anytime soon?
Which ones are you talking about? Because there's construction all around us. They got additions to that big project that's just west of us, that Triple Crown, and they got my gosh, they got all kinds of stores going up here in Walmart.
Oh, they're gonna be a big gated community back in there.
There is an over 50 townhouse, I think, type community that's going up west of us as well.
There's a lot going on up in there. You're gonna be surrounded by it for long.
Well, maybe you didn't hear it because you're in Hermitage, but I went to the city planning meeting, the zoning board or whatever they called it, and because what happened was the plans called for connecting that 400 unit Triple Crown to one of our streets over at the far end, which we are currently a dead end community, which would open up the dead end of our community to 400 units west of us, and that would make us a shortcut to get over to Walmart and Mount Juliet Road.
Traffic, man. I tell you, I feel we're seeing it down here now because of all that construction down on 840. We're having probably 20, 30 big tractor trailer rigs coming through this South Mount Juliet Road every day, and used to not see any, and that's kind of hard to get used to because that Council Pike up there is just not built for that. They're going to have to do something in that area.
Now you say on South Mount Juliet Road after the break there is we're seeing a lot more traffic.
Oh, they're cut through here going to the 840 and back roads to Smyrna and everything else. There's buses and trucks and everything. Quite a few coming through here every single day.
Well, I think a lot of people wouldn't realize how much commercial traffic, I'll just call it that goes between 40 on Mount Juliet Road down to Smyrna, Antioch, etc., all points south, including down. I didn't know a lot of it was going down your way.
Yeah, it's going, and they're going to have to do something about that. When you turn left up on Council Pike, that's a narrow through there, and there's wrecks up there quite often now, and people running off the road. They still need to cut some trees and all because these big old tractor trailer trucks are hitting those low limbs and everything, knocking them in the roads. Always something up through there. They're going to have to really take a hard look at that. And it's going to involve all three counties, Davidson, probably Wilson and Rutherford, because they're all three intermingle all through that area right there.
Yeah, I don't have any high hopes though, because if you remember, and I know you do, when Davidson decided they wanted to do something about the traffic issues, they tried to do it alone, and really it has to be a regional thing to make that happen.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to solve all this traffic by just one county now. It's going to take quite a bit of cooperation among all the counties, surrounding counties, to be able to do it. Their infrastructure is going to have some work on it. There's no doubt about that. Well, I'll let you get on with it. Good to hear you on the net tonight. Good to hear everybody. Good luck to all 73 stalls.
Yeah, there was Donnie, and he's also south of me over there on South Mount Juliet Road. But he's in Hermitage. That's Kilo 4 Oscar, Foxtrot Oscar, and it's Donnie down south of me. Who else is south?
KR4EZ.
KR. When I write that down, every time I write that down, Tim, I get it messed up. Because for some reason, when you put an R and a 4 next to each other, it drives me nuts.
Well, FCC is messing with you on that, you think?
No, it's. I'll tell you some other time. For some reason, R's and 4's together are like a personal barrier to my eyeballs for some reason. I can't explain it. But anyway, how you doing, Tim?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Doing better now. How about yourself?
Doing great. I was. Somebody asked me, so I don't know, in the last week or two, said, I don't know how you do it with the nets. I go, I don't know how I do it either. I have no idea how we managed to do 500 and what is that, 666 nets. I can't believe it.
It sure is a bunch. Yeah, you do a good job. All right, man, I'll turn it back over to you. I know you got them lining up probably, or I don't know, might be on the tail end of it. I beat the late net anyway, so 73's Paul, and have a good KR4AZ.
Yeah, very good. That's Tim, and that's Kilo Romeo 4 Alpha Zulu, and he is in Murfreesboro. Good signal. long-standing check-in person. Who else south? Please come in. Anybody else south? And we're going for late check-ins. Please come out. Any place, anywhere.
I think you left out east.
Oh, that's right. I started with north, didn't I? Thanks for the reminder, James. East, then, please. East, please come now. James, I got you in there.
WA4ZHI.
Yeah, sorry about that. How could I forget that? I'm looking right at it. It says I started on the north. How you doing, James?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I've went out, did a few chores, and went out and got a few victuals.
All right, vittles. You know, I think the first time I heard that term vittles was on the Andy Griffith show when I was a kid.
Yeah, I still watch that show. You?
Oh, man, I got them memorized. I've seen every single one of them at least a couple times.
Come on, a lot of nights here.
Well, you know, I don't know where else they do it, but here there are, well, at least there was I know as of last year, there was on 2 separate channels, there was an hour's worth. So there was 4, you could see 4 shows a night in the Nashville area.
Yeah, they used to come on real early. I don't remember what time, about 6:30 or something. Like now they also come on about 10:30 at night too.
Yeah, that's right. I think it comes on at like 6 or 7, and then they got a 10 on the other channel. Anyway, it's one of my favorite shows, really. I don't know, maybe I'm just simple-minded, but I don't think so.
I actually remember when I saw it the first time 50 years ago.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It was a great show then, and the first show I think was in, I want to say 61, but it might have been 1962.
I think it's about 62 to 64.
Yeah. It's really what a great concept, because it was a good show and it was enjoyable and, you know, family oriented, and it didn't upset anybody.
They had a lot of rumors in the background I read about that we didn't know about back then.
Yeah, I don't care about them. I don't believe them. Don't believe them for a second, man. I actually think there is a Mayberry. Okay, just leave me with that idea.
Okay, leave it at that.
All right, very good. That's James here in the heart of Mount Juliet. Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel India. Good signal as always. Who else is where I was east?
KE4TW.
Man, I almost left you off hanging there, didn't I, Wes?
Yep, you sounded good. Heard most. Some of the south I couldn't hear, and I couldn't hear the Bowling Green station, but otherwise everything's going good out here in the east.
Yeah, Bowling Green was a little rough to me tonight too. Like he said, the conditions were bad, so I don't think he was copying me very well. And he's using a beam, so he does have a distinct advantage, but I was able to hear him just fine.
Right. Okay. Well, doing a good job, KE4TWI. Go ahead with it.
Very good. That was Wes, just a little bit north or northwest of Watertown. Kilo Echo 4 Tango Whiskey India. Who else is east? Please come in.
Kilo India 4 singing in the barn.
So you threw me for a loop because I always remembered it as Sierra India Bravo.
Oops.
No.
Good evening, Paul. How you doing?
Doing good. Somebody was bragging. I think it was Tom Parker was bragging. He says, you know, I've got 4, I think he said 4 HTs here. I go, yeah, that's. I said, Richard sneezes more HTs than that.
Well, what can I tell you? I like my HTs.
Yeah, I know. How much? You didn't buy any more, did you?
Oh, no, not lately.
You just saving those up for retirement so you can sell them?
Oh, yes, that's the game plan.
Very good. Anything else going on over there?
I was just trying to keep myself from freezing to death, which ain't no hard thing because I'm in a nice, cozy apartment. But no, everything's going well, and I hope everything's well with everybody else on the net. And thank you for doing all this. I enjoyed it as much as anybody, I guess. And trying to improve the station every once in a while. I haven't heard of nothing either. But carry on, take care. We'll talk to you when we can. KI4SIB at the priest.
Well, you may have set a ham record, because I can't imagine anyone who lives in an apartment who put up an antenna as tall and as in such a good placement as you anywhere, because most people can't cajole a property manager or owner to do that on a rental place.
Last time I spoke with him about this whole situation, he said, I'm not going to put any restrictions on your antennas.
So I tell you, man, just stick that concrete down before he says anything and put up that 60-foot tower.
I would love to.
Well, if you get around to it, I'm sure you'll get some people who can help. All right. Anyway, that was Richard. He's over just west of downtown Lebanon. It's a Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo. Good to have you in there, Richard. Who else is next? Anybody else east? KM4HQE. I don't know if there was somebody else in there, but you're making it all right today, Stan?
Yeah, it was a nice day. Let's run outside. Hope it's even nicer tomorrow so we can do some more stuff outside.
Cool. Do you have any more luck with that 10 meter, that vertical you built?
No, it doesn't perform as well as I would hope it would. But, I don't know if I can do anything else to improve it or not.
What was the particular design you used? Was it something your design or something else?
It has one of the mirror mount, the gumdrop Wilson mount, and it's just normally you would screw one of those 8-foot or 102-inch tall stainless whips in it, but places that I've seen want almost twice as much as whip cost to ship it, so I said the heck with that. Just made a vertical radiator out of some regular steel.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it didn't do as good. I wonder why that is. Do you have any idea?
I don't know if adding some more radiators under it would help it or not. I just put I think 3 under it, and they're 8 foot long each.
Yeah, because the one, that SPT 500 that a couple of us have, that has like 8-foot radials underneath.
Yeah, I might try adding some more radials and see if that helps it.
Sounds good. Well, I hope it works out better. We'll know when we do the 10 meter net next week if you get around to that point. But yeah, let us know when you're going to do that, or if we'll know by the signal, I guess. Anyway, that was Stan, Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo, and he's over just a little bit north of downtown Lebanon. Who else east?
Kilo Golf 4 Mike India Zulu.
Hey, there you go. You can jump into both nets tonight, huh, Kevin?
No, I'm gonna skip the other one. What's going on, Mr. Paul?
Not too much. You weren't on. I didn't catch you on the radio this morning, did I?
I don't think so. I don't think I even turned it on until this morning. Or, well, I don't know. I might have been on it this morning. Hell, I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. This isn't a quiz. There's no. You can't fail this quiz. I don't remember either. I was talking to some people this morning, but I don't think you were there.
Yeah, it's probably was the other morning. But yeah, not a lot going on here. Same old stuff, different day. It's, doing the internet right now, looking at the internet, and watching videos and stuff, listening to the net. Like I said, there ain't nothing going on, so I'll just pass it back to you, Paul. We're going to go over to sideband next.
We are 146. I'm sorry, 144.240.
Okay, 240. All right. All right. Well, I'll pass it back to you, Paul. Thanks for checking me in, man. And God bless to that. KG4 MIZ.
All right, very good. We got Kevin's blessing tonight. That was Kevin. Kilo Golf 4 Mike India Zulu. He's over in the just a little bit west of downtown square there in Lebanon. Who? Anybody else east?
KE4 easy.
Hello, Earl. You sound good. I guess you did talk to Rick over there in Ashland City, huh?
Let me think. I may have. I can't remember exactly, but I've talked to so many different people the last few days. I'm kind of brain overloaded, if you will.
Ah, that's all right. No, you don't have to keep a log, so it doesn't really matter. It's good. In the old days, you would have to keep a log. But anyway, no, Earl, Rick over there in Ashland City, who had raised his X700 antenna a little higher, and he was thrilled that he was able to talk to you. And I thought, man, that's kind of tough. Even some days, not tough, but since you have about an S3 signal to me normally, to have to talk all the way over to Ashland City, which is another 30 or 40 miles, is a stretch.
Yeah, okay, that's Mike's brother. I remember now. I was, barely, heard him with my preamp on. I had to turn the preamp
lot better reception on him when he did what he did over there. But there's still a little something going on over there for no further away than what they are from one another. But anyway, I may have that confused with somebody else too. I don't know.
Now they were having some issues. They seem to have different results on different frequencies around the simplex part of the band, but I think we've got that solved. But maybe we'll write a report on it or something. Well, very good, Earl. You're sounding good tonight. Got a good signal, good audio. That's Kilo Echo 4 Delta Echo Zulu. And Earl is down in Noreen, just east of the Cedars of Lebanon Park, down in southeast, or I guess it's eastern Wilson County, I guess. Who else? Anybody else east? Late check-ins then, please come now. Got nothing on late check-ins? You'll fall into the lollygagger, sandbagger, lurker, did I say sandbagger? Sandbagger, lollygagger, lurker. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, the preppers, Brent Time survivalists, SDR donglers, scanner listeners, and the flat earthers. That's it. That's the group. And anybody from that group?
Is this where I check in twice?
You can check in under each category if you want to.
Well, lollygagger and sandbagger, I think fits.
Yeah, it may be. Yeah, very good. No takers. Well, they're going to move on to the buy, sell, swap, and swindle net unless somebody jumps in right now.
KJ4 EVR.
KJ4, was that Echo Victor Romeo?
That is correct. I just turned the radio on and heard your voice, and I knew it was net time, so I thought I would throw my call out real quick.
Very good. And if I've talked to you before, I apologize. I don't remember your name.
Name here is Joe, Juliet, Oscar, Echo, and I'm over here by Percy Priest Dam.
Ah, very good. No, a good signal from Percy Priest, although again, that's another area I'm pretty, it's while it's downhill from me because it's down there on the river, but I'm at a fairly good elevation, so I can hear almost everybody on Percy Priest Dam.
Well, I'm at the little rest area next to the dam, and I'm putting out 6 watts on an FT818 with a mag mount antenna on top of my truck.
Ah, no, it sounds good. I wouldn't have been able to tell it was 6 watts, but you got a great signal. Is that a 5/8 wave mag mount?
I cannot remember. It's a Comet antenna, and I've heard a lot of reviews about Comet antennas, about them maybe being dummy loads, but this one seems to put out, and the SWR is not bad.
No, the Comet does not make bad antenna. I always like when people say that. I mean, you're always going to be, a mag mount, or like I have on my car. I've got one of my cars. I have a through glass antenna, which is that's not even worth a dummy load really. On some days, nobody can hear me. I can't hit a repeater if I'm sitting underneath it.
I've always wondered about that. It doesn't look like it would work very well, but I don't know.
No, it does okay, but it's no different. Number one, as you probably know, when you're on a car, you're already starting at a bad spot. You're at ground level, and so unless you're never going to get any elevation unless you move to better elevation, and so you're always working from a handicap. And a mag mount, while they're not great antennas, they actually work pretty darn good. I mean, we have one of the fellas, he checks in regularly up from White House, and he's using 5 watts on a mag mount on the roof of his car from White House.
I have a question. Maybe you know about this, but I was wondering, do you have any experience, or have you heard any good or bad about the Yaesu 128, their screwdriver antenna? I was thinking about getting one.
They're great antennas. I have had one in use off and on for, about 12 years, maybe 13 years. They work great, 40 through 6 meters. And they're not the best of the best, because you can buy a much better one from Tar Heel, but it's going to cost you 50% or maybe 100% more. But if you're going to have a lot of fun on the road, that's an antenna to do it. Unfortunately, it's also like $380 or $90.
Yeah, it's expensive, but I'm thinking about building a pack frame for FT 891 and maybe putting that on top of it to a metal plate with a ground rod and see how well that does for like going to a park and setting up at a picnic table or something.
Well, it may do all right. I'm guessing it needs radials though, because they even recommend that you get the radio accessory, which like $100 more if you're not going to have it on a car. But I've never tried it, so I really can't say. The other thing is the nicest part about that 120A antenna is that you just push the tune button on the radio and it tunes up the screwdriver near perfectly.
Yeah, I only have two radios right now. One's the FT 891 and also the FT 818. But I don't have a tuner for the 891. And I have a power supply, but I don't have a place where I can set up a base antenna just yet. I just got a house, and I'll have my own backyard soon, and I'll be able to play radio all I want.
Well, I have with it, just to give you a clue that I don't want to minimize it. It's a relatively small screwdriver antenna. And like I said, it's 40 through 6. So you don't forget about 80 and 160. But I have worked stations with every band, any one of those bands in between all over the world, including Russia and Japan and all across the country with that thing when I was mobile. So it really is a good antenna if the conditions are good.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll have to check into it and budget that in. But yeah, I've had my eye on it for a while, but I haven't been able to find good reviews on it. I mean, I saw some on eHam, and that was mostly positive, but I didn't see many YouTube videos on it.
Maybe I'll have to make one. Again, any antenna like that is, even any of the big screwdrivers are a compromise. Simply, you can only put so much wire inside a thing on your trunk to make it tune into a 40, 80, or 160 band. But what I was going to say is it even though it's a compromise, you can have a lot of fun. But there is one caveat. I love that word. One warning, I guess. Do not leave the thing on your car all the time. The reason being is it is subject to corrosion and just the normal oxidation things that happen, and you don't want to have to pay to have one of those repaired or replace it either. So I just use it when you put it on there when you feel compelled to do HF on the road over long periods of time.
Well, I was thinking about getting it just maybe with radials, but set up on like a tripod or something just outside a window or outside on the patio, just to have something up in the air, if nothing else, just to listen to, because where I'm at is just an awful location, metal roofs everywhere, and I can't get out. But like I said, my QTH will change here shortly, and I'll be able to play radio and stuff. But I have three other antennas. One is my antennas in fed half wave, 80 through 10, I believe, and I have two soda beam link dipoles. And I have fun with the soda beams. I haven't played with the in fed half wave yet because it's so long.
Yep, I get you. It's funny, that name of that company, that soda antenna. Every time somebody tells me about a soda antenna, I think you're talking about a soft drink.
That's probably how it came out of my mouth, but yeah, soda. Yeah, they're good antennas, but man, when you want to change bands, you got to work for it.
I got you. Well, very good. Good luck, and let me know how you work out. If you'd like to, I can probably get together with if you want to and show you the one I've got.
Hey, that would be awesome. I do work a lot, so it would have to be on a weekend sometime because I'm just not worth anything on Saturday because I'm pretty much recovering from everything I did Monday through Friday. Maybe a Saturday night night or a Sunday day would be awesome.
Yeah, well, let me know. Just if are you on the email list?
I am. I believe I checked in either last week or the week before, and yeah, I'm on the email list, and I saw a few of the YouTube feeds. I think it's awesome, and I appreciate what you're doing.
Ah, very good. Appreciate the comments. I do it even if nobody liked it. No, I don't think I'd do it then. But what I was going to say is, yeah, just let me know. Either email me through the site, or my email is, my call at awrl.net. Let me know if you want to do something, because like I said, my wife works Saturday and Sunday, so I'm available those days to both days actually to do stuff during the day if you want to do something. Anyway, that was Joe, Kilo Juliet 4 Echo Victor Romeo. He's over mobile over there at Percy Priest with a mag mount, doing a good job to me. Who else is anybody else late checking?
N4 BTI.
Hey, Charlie, you were waiting to be last?
Yeah. No, I was just doing some stuff, busy, watching some stuff with my family. But yeah, hopefully I am last. If anyone was gonna check in after me, just hold off on that.
All right, I'll try to do that. School going well for you?
Yeah, it's going well. It's going well. It's difficult still, but yeah, it's going well.
Nothing good comes from easy work. It's all the hard work you put in pays off in the long run, and I'm sure your father's told you that.
Yeah, and school isn't even about the education anymore. You can just look it all up now on the internet. I feel like it's more about the hard work that you put in to teach you to work hard, and math is important too. Don't have to look it up. You can just know how to do it and understand stuff like that. But teaching you hard work is really important.
Oh, it's critical. I know that. I wish I know it'd be very difficult for you to imagine, but if I wanted to look up anything when I was going to your school, whether it was junior high school, or college, you either owned an encyclopedia, which was a limited source, or you went to the library at the school or at the public library, and that's where you spent your time, was there. And it's hard to imagine no internet, because the fact of the matter is now, if somebody can't gather up enough information to write a term paper or anything, and I don't care what it is, and there's so much information available on the internet, you'd almost have to be a moron not to be able to do a decent paper.
Yeah, there's really no excuse anymore. There's really no excuse anymore to not have a good paper, because you can find formats, find writing tips online, find information about what you're supposed to be writing about, finding there's YouTube videos about interesting stuff and not interesting stuff, and just things like that. And like you said, there's really no excuses anymore now that we have the internet.
No, none whatsoever. You're right, though, Charlie, and good luck. I really do hope you can do well, as I think you will, actually. And that's Charlie. He's our youngest member at still 13, right, Charlie?
Yes, sir. I turned 14 July 30th.
All righty, July 30th. I'll write that down. So hopefully we'll have a net on that day. 7:30. All right, very good. Anyway, it was Charlie. He's in North Wilson, way up towards the river here in Mount Juliet. It might still be Wilson County, and that's November 4, Victor Tango, India. And he's the youngest at 13, and we also had Otis in there early, and he's 93, so there's only 80 years difference. Anybody else late check-ins for a move on? All right, on to the buy-sell swap and swindle net. There was 27 people checking in, by the way. Anybody got anything they want to sell tonight?
November India 4 Delta.
Hey, November India 4 Delta. What's up, Carl?
I've got an Ameritron AL811H, and it just came back from the factory, new tubes and caps and realigned and everything. It's got the 10 and 12 meter option. It's several years old, and I got it used from my Elmer, and I had it refurbed, and I moved over to Expert Linear's FPE amps. So I'm going to go ahead and let that go to a good home if anybody wants it.
Now that model is which one? I think I wrote it down. AL11H, is that what it is, or an ALA11H?
It's an AL811H. It's got the 3 tubes in it, 3 811 tubes.
Yep, 3 tubes. Did you want to advertise a price, or just want somebody interested to call you?
I'd probably take 6 1/4 for it. That'd get me out from under it and get the new tube price in there. And I said 3 tubes. It's actually 4 tubes in the H. But yeah, and my information's good on QRZ. Just drop me an email. It's November India 4 Delta ARRL.net.
Very good. Very good. It's got an Ameritron AL811H. It's a 4-tube amplifier. What is that? Is that legal limit?
No, that was 800 watts. It'll most of the time on the low HF bands, you can get it up pretty close. I ran it about 725, 750 on 80 meters, and it'll do a good solid 700 on 40 meters. Just make sure you got a good tuner that'll handle 1,000 watts, and it'll help you make your presence known in all pileups.
Oh yeah, 800 watts is a lot by anybody's standard. In fact, it's only a couple of S units below legal.
That's correct. 2 S units below legal limit.
Very good. And you can reach Carl at ni4d@arrl.net. He's selling an 800 watt AL811H amplifier, and it's been refurbed in good shape and doing the job for somebody. And just remember, you have to have a tuner good for 1,000. So just it's not just the cost of the amp. All right, who else? Anybody else got something to sell?
WE4E.
Hey, Danny, WE4E.
So nothing to sell, but free to good home. I have a little dual band, 2 meter, 70 centimeter beam that I'll give away if somebody wants it. It's 3 elements on 2 meter, 5 elements on 70 centimeter. Works okay. It doesn't have a horrific amount of gain, but it does have awfully good rejection when you get outside of about 30 degrees off axis. So if somebody wants a little portable to throw up on a stick somewhere or whatever, just email me, we4e@icloud.com.
WE4E@iCloud. That's the letter India, C, Charlie Lima Oscar Uniform Delta.com. He's got a dual band, 2 meter, 70 centimeter Yagi. It's got 3 elements on 2 meters and 5 on 70 centimeters. I don't know the actual gain on that, but I'm guessing the 3 elements probably about a 8 or 9, somewhere in that range, I'm guessing. You don't know the model on that, do you?
I don't. It's like a Jetstream JT270, I think, or something like that. And I don't think it has that much gain, honestly. But I had it up for a while over here, and it is directional. I can't tell you with any certainty, how much gain you'll get on send to receive. I mean, obviously there is some, but like I said, the rejection's pretty good. You can null things down pretty tight. So if you're trying to dodge noise or trying to light up a repeater someplace and you're having problems or whatever, it might do the trick.
Yeah, no, those are nice. I've got a 5 element. I don't use it for much now anymore. Now that I've got the 9 element beam up on the mast, but the 5 element I have really gets out well. That's one of those $59 MFJs, and I was shocked at how well they perform. Anyway, it's a 3 element on 2 meters, 5 element on 70 centimeters, and free to somebody who'll feed it regularly and take care of it. So you can reach him at Whiskey Echo 4 Echo at iCloud. That's India Charlie Lima Oscar Uniform Delta at iCloud.net. It's his call at iCloud.net. It is net, right? I did write that down right?
No, it's iCloud.com. And the model number, I just looked it up. It's a JTBM270. And it says, okay. If you want to measure in dBi, it's 9.5 dBi on 2 meter, 11.15 on 70 centimeter, good for 125 watts. It's not very big. It's 44-inch boom length. I mean, the whole thing's, it's small, it's light. It would be great for a little portable setup. Like I said, I ran it for a while, but anyway, but yeah, it's we4e@icloud.com.
Yep, iCloud.com. I messed that up. That was pretty close. I said 7, 8, or 9, didn't I?
I actually didn't give it that much credit, but yeah, that's what it says. Obviously, you got to subtract what is it, 2.15 for DVD reference to a dipole, and all of it's kind of BS anyway, truthfully. But it'll have some gain, and it'll have a ton of rejection. And
I honestly think that some of those people do a little fibbing, little sales bluster in there.
Well, my guess is in an anechoic chamber under the right circumstances, you might be able to squeak out that much gain. Or if you put all the numbers into, an NEC simulator or something. But anyway, worked fine last long time, and I will never use it. So somebody should take this and use it.
All right, a free 2 meter, 70 centimeter beam. So just contact him again. It's Whiskey Echo 4 Echo at iCloud.com. Anybody else? All right, we're going to move over to 144-240, and here we are at 920, and I'm going to move over there unless anybody jumps in now. 3, 2, 1, gone. We're going over to the 144.240, 144.240 upper sideband. I'll be there momentarily. K4PEW, closing this portion of the net down. All righty, this is K4PEW with the Mount Juliet Simplex radio net on 144.240. We're starting from the north. Please come now.
WE4E.
All right, we got Danny in there. Who else was in there? Doubling there.
Whiskey Bravo 0 November Oscar Mark.
Appreciate you hanging in there, Mark. Who else north?
KI4 Z Delta Delta.
KI4 Z Delta Delta. Got a good strong signal there. Who else is north? Any other north stations? Please come now. I don't hear anything. Move over to the west then.
KM4 Wow.
Hey, Michael, hear you in there good? Sound great. Who else is west?
November 4 Delta Juliet Tango.
Okay, Don, sounding good. Who else is west?
Kilo Juliet 4 Echo Victor Romeo.
Kilo Juliet 4 Echo Victor Romeo. Good to have you in there, Joe. Who else is next? Anybody else west? Nothing. How about the south? Please come now. Ah, you sound good. You still doing that 5-watt thing? Well, it sounds good. You're doing fine there, Rusty. Who else is south? Anybody else south? Over to the east. KE4TWI. You sound good there, Wes. How are you copying me in down there tonight?
You're at 7. You sounded very well. So did Michael's signal came up, but of course, it's expected on a narrow band mode.
Yep, you're right. It's anyway. I appreciate you being in there, Wes. Who else is east or south?
Kilo Golf 4 Mike India Zulu. Go Zulu.
All right, I got who is that? Kevin's in there. He said he wasn't going to be there, but he lied, man. I can't believe you showed up, man.
You're hitting the hum on the back of that radio. You might want to turn your mic gain down. Yeah, sounding good, Paul. Sounding good.
All right, sound good. That's Kilo Echo 4 Mike India, Kilo Golf 4 Mike India Zulu, and then it was Kevin, and we also had Earl. I got you in there, KE4. How can I forget your call? Kilo Echo 4 Delta Echo Zulu. How can I not remember that? Delta Echo Zulu. Got you in there, Earl. You sound good. Anybody else south or east?
November India 4 Delta, some kind of south.
Oh, yeah. No, you're doing fine. That's Carl over there in Belmont, in Belfry. That's it, what it is. Over in what you call it, Brentwood. Who else? Anywhere, actually. I think we already covered east. Anybody else east? Okay, anybody else? Anybody, anywhere, please come up. All righty, we got a slew in there. I didn't count them, but I'm going to do it now. Hold on. I see 11 in there. I'm going to start back from the bottom. That was Carl over there in what you call it, Brentwood, November India 4 Delta, and Earl. He's down there in Noreen, Kilo Echo 4 Delta Echo Zulu. Kevin over in Lebanon, Kilo Golf 4 Mike India Zulu. We've got Wes down near Watertown, Kilo Echo 4 Tango Whiskey India. Rusty, November 8 Papa Yankee in Murfreesboro, Kilo Juliet 4 Echo Victor Romeo. And I'll get that name straight here in a minute here. That's Joe. I always got to get that burned into my brain. That's Joe. He's Joe is over in what do you call it, near Percy Priest tonight. And we had November 4 Delta Juliet Tango Don over in Bon Aqua, and KM4Y RF Michael over in Belshire, and Kilo India 4 Zulu Delta Delta, and that is Michael, I believe, in the Donaldson. Is that right?
That's Old Hickory.
Old Hickory, there you go. I'm sorry, I maligned Old Hickory. That's Michael and Old Hickory. Kilo Indy 4 Zulu Delta Delta, and Mark Whiskey Bravo 0 November Oscar here in North Wilson County near the weather station. And who else was first one in there? Oh, that was Danny. Whiskey Echo 4 Echo in Hendersonville, which is a good group of folks in here tonight. Don't forget, we also do the Sunday night at 7:30. You can make it. There's no rules, as you know, so you don't have to be here. All right, very good. Appreciate it. You guys are welcome to hang around. I don't know who could. Was anybody unable to hear other stations? Do you know? I mean, does anybody realize that there's some stations they can't hear?
I heard everybody from here.
Awesome. Yeah, it's for some reason upper sideband seems to get out on 2 meters pretty good.
It's more energy efficient than FM is. And the guy on the 818 over there at Percy Priest on FM, I had him at 7 over here. Good signal.
Yeah, for a mag mount, he was doing great.
Yeah, I think so. Mag mount 6 watts.
Yeah, well, that's why I love it how people malign antennas, and it doesn't make any sense because almost every antenna is a compromise to begin with. But if an antenna is not doing the job, it's usually bad installation. Well, 9
times out of 10, that's true.
All right, let me close down the net and get rid of the YouTube stream here. Good night, everybody. For another net, an hour and 27 minutes in, K4PEW closing the net.
Don't leave me for you.